So you're probably thinking, what is an atheist doing up here? But I represent the 12 million non-religious pro-lifers in America today who recognize that abortion is a human rights injustice. And when I'm looking out at the landscape of institutions that we might be able to ally with in this fight, I'm wondering, do we have any allies? Are there any institutions in America outside of the pro-life movement specifically that support unborn life and the right to life? Well, there is. And it just so happens to be possibly the most influential institution in the history of the world. Now, when I look at the landscape of leadership representing the Catholic Church, I look at my most recent representative, Nancy Pelosi. I just moved to Washington, D.C. after spending 14 years in the city of San Francisco, and I can tell you that Pelosi's record is consistent with a person who has done more than anyone else in American history to expand horrific abortion procedures. She has voted against the Partial Birth Abortion Act, the Born Alive Acts, the multiple iterations of them. She has voted against informing people of children traveling interstate to obtain abortions. And she has appointed people in leadership in the House of Representatives since the late 1980s who will expand abortion and have expanded abortion at a rate that is unprecedented. Nancy Pelosi also attends Mass regularly in San Francisco. And in 2019 alone, she blocked the Born Alive Act from being voted on 80 separate times. And to illustrate why, for the bishops, why the Born Alive Act is so critical, I have to remind you that there are over 120 fetal tissue research projects active and actively funded by the National Institutes of Health happening across our nation. And in order to perform the abortions that supply fetal tissue research, it requires either a fully live dismemberment of viable late-term fetuses to supply on a monthly basis, or it requires a medical induction, which according to the Pro-Choice Society of Family Planning produces born-alive infants up to half of the time. And now, my California Attorney General, Javier Becerra, who advocated for expanding fetal tissue research during his time as Attorney General and during the COVID pandemic, has now been appointed the leader of the most influential health organization on the planet. He claims also to be a Catholic and was appointed by Joe Biden, another Catholic leader in our nation. And as we know, Joe Biden is pushing the most extreme abortion agenda that this nation has ever seen. So I don't claim to understand the spiritual matters at hand here or whether or not these leaders deserve to be denied communion. But I can tell you that the secular community needs the support and allyship of the Catholic Church if we are to bring down the abortion industry and if we are to address this human rights injustice. And the secular community, the secular pro-life community, 12 million strong, desires for the full universal power of the Catholic Church to come against the scourge of abortion. And I am begging you, bishops, to do something, because I have put my reputation on the line for the unborn. When will you?